Danielle here with you again for another one of our Reckon hosted videos. This one is on entering bills and paying bills. Now, this is something you're going to do every month, obviously. First thing you need to know is, are you working with cash accounting or are you working with accrual accounting? If you're not sure, have a look on your BAS statement. Right at the very top here, okay, it will tell you if your parish is working on cash or accrual. Most of them, I believe, work on cash, but a few do work on accrual. Bairnsdale, who we're working with today, work on accrual. So I will be entering bills slightly different to one of my other parishes who work on cash. So I'm going to enter some bills. So sorry, I just clicked on enter bills. Now you can start typing here, or you can use the drop down. Obviously, if you've got a bill right in front of you, it's quicker just to start typing. So I'm going to enter a Telstra bill. Now, because I'm working on accrual accounting, I am going to enter everything as the date that is on the invoice, the bill. If I was working on cash accounting, I would put the date in of today's date because I'm entering it today and I'm probably going to pay it in a couple of days, or I would enter it on the day that I've paid it. But accrual, I need to enter everything as per the date that's on the invoice. Again, here I can just start typing the date, so the 9th of the 8th, and it knows that the year is 2020. If not, you can use the calendar function. Now, whilst I'm going through all these lines here, just keep hitting tab. Do not hit enter. Enter is going to save it, and you don't need to save it because I haven't even entered anything yet. So tab, or use your mouse, but just get in the habit of using the tab key, tab all the way through, save at the end. This little box here needs to be ticked for every single bill entry. Once you've ticked it once, you should never have to tick it again. It should always be ticked. Make sure that's ticked. And you can pop in here, this is a drop-down screen, the tax code for this supplier. So every time I pop a Telstra bill in, it knows that it's NCG. NCG is a non-capital acquisition which includes tax, so includes GST. NCF is the other code that we will use, which you would use for your, for example, diocesan bills because they come tax-free. So NCF is GST-free. So NCG, NCF. All right, back up to here. I'm going to put in my reference number, which would be your invoice number. -6. Now, the amount of the bill, the full amount of the bill, not less GST, not less freight or anything, the full amount that you are going to pay that company. Now, because I'm working on accrual accounting, I will put in the due date. It's actually popped it up for me because it knows it's net 15. If I was working on cash and I was going to sit down on Monday and pay a load of bills, I would actually date this Monday. I would date my due date also on Monday, and I would change this to due on receipt. So my two dates are going to be exactly the same and everything is due on receipt. That is how I handle all of my cash accounting for the other parishes I do. However, today this one is accrual. And that was issued on the 9th. Okay, so I will just tab through. Now, this has already popped up. Now, sorry, skipped straight past memo. There's really no point of putting a memo. You don't have to put a memo. You could also put a memo here. I don't need to put a memo We know it's Telstra. We know it's phone and internet. All right, so previously my Telstra bills have gone to telephone and internet. The system knows this and it's just going to remember it and pop it up every time. If by chance it wasn't phone and internet, today I wanted it to be some miscellaneous admin because it's not actually the phone bill. I purchased a new phone, something like that maybe, and I needed to change it. You can just change it because it pops up straight away. You don't have to keep that. You can change that. So obviously this is telephone and internet. Now NCG, so it includes GST. I've still got my gross amount here, and QuickBooks has worked out what the tax is. Now if I look at my bill, the tax on the screen matches the tax on the bill. So I'm happy with that. I have entered that bill. I'm going to save and new because I have some other bills to put in. Now, because I've fiddled around with this, it says you've changed the terms. Would you like this to appear next time? I'm just going to say no because I fiddled and I didn't need to fill. So that's my first bill. I'm going to say save and new because I have a few bills to pop in today. Now, I've just typed in east because I want eastern mowing. So everything with the word east in it is coming up. So I can just say, okay, that's the one I want to have across. The date on that one, 10th of the 8th. Invoice number 3659. Okay, and again, because I've used these accounts all previously, I've got all of my terms in here already. It's lawn mowing, so clearly I've used the system before for gardens and grounds. Now, even though I've got NCG here, NCG didn't pop up here, but that's fine because as I tab through, I can just type in NCG or I can use the drop down and choose NCG. Again, here's my gross. So this needs to match this, which is also here. So 3 times the amount comes up. At the end of the day, this one here needs to match this one here. Again, tax is sorted out. Save and new. Church book room. This is something that you will all use. 7 invoices. $70. Okay, this one's going to be NCF because everything we buy from Church Book Room is tax free. Now, if I was buying a, actually, we'll save a new on this one. Okay, let's do one that would have multiple lines. For example, Bishop in Council, your B invoice. Okay, I have already entered my B invoice, so I'll just do an example of one and I won't save it. All right, so invoice, don't know. All right, I'm just going to make up figures off the top of my head. So my B invoice is $5,000. So I will tab down. Now, whoops. First thing on your B invoice is your assessment. So I'm just going to start typing assessment. Now, we actually also have an op shop who assist with paying our assessment because obviously we're including their income on our assessment figures. But this isn't, I don't want this to be Jono's assessment share. I want it to be assessment. So I will use the drop down now and look for, and see, put it in income. Clearly it's not income. Assessment. Did I just say? Yep, I just went straight past. Okay, that's the assessment I want. Okay, and that is NCF, and I'm going to say our assessment is, let's say, $1,500. Next on our bill is insurance. So this time I started typing insurance, and it has picked it up that it's the Bishop and Council insurance. This will also be NCF, and my insurance is, I don't know, $1,200. what do we have? We have TGA on that bill, and again, it's taking it to my TGA income, which it's not. So I will use the drop down and I will scroll for TGA. TGA, NCF, let's go about $60 worth of papers. What else do we have? Some super. Okay, so that's my rector costs, super and long service. We've chosen to put our super and long service leave together. You may choose to have your super and your long service leave separate. NCF. Oh wow, I've got lots of money to spend, haven't I? So I'm going to say 1,200 of super. Very generous. And what else do we have on that bill? We do have long service leave as well. So again, I'll type in the super and long service leave, NCF, and then let's say the balance of that. So all of these together should equal 5, which should equal 5. Okay, and then I would save. I'm not going to save this because I've just made up random figures. So I will clear this. But this is how you would enter a bill that has multiple lines. This is how you would enter petty cash. This is how you would enter your stipends bill, because you would have your stipends, your allowances, your depreciation, bits and pieces like that. Any bill that has multiples, you've got some, I don't know, something sent to you in the mail, and so you're putting the item and your parish decides to allocate freight as well. So you may have what you've purchased, so some stationery and some freight if you've bought a lot of stuff from Officeworks and had it delivered to you. Otherwise it would all just go as stationery. So multiple lines, just keep tabbing along, adding as many lines as you like. This here though must equal this here, otherwise so I'm going to delete this and I'm going to say 1,000. Now these aren't equaling, so if I said save and close, sorry, it's not going to let me do that because it doesn't match. So I'll say okay, I will fix up my error, then I'll save and close. I'm not going to save and close this because I don't want to. So I've entered a couple of bills there. That should make complete sense. Enter the bills. If you didn't have a supplier, okay, so we've got a supplier for the very, very first time. ABC something. Okay, I don't have that, so I'm just going to do, okay, so it's ABC maintenance, and I'm going to tab across, and the system's going to say, you don't have this person in your supplier list. Would you like to add them? I can either choose fast add or I could choose setup. Setup would mean another screen will pop up, put in their address, email address, phone number. I could put their bank account details, anything I like. Personally, I would just go fast add. I'll just go fast add, I'll add them. And then I would just keep tabbing down and filling in the bill as usual. Now, if I X out of there, you've not recorded a transaction. Do I want to record it now? No, I don't. All right, so I have some bills entered. What I've also done is printed off transaction listing from the bank, because I did pay a couple of bills last week, but I haven't been in QuickBooks for a little while, so I need to mark them off. So I will go to pay bills. Essentially, follow the arrow. Pay bills. All right, these are all of my bills that I have entered and waiting to be paid. So some of them I've entered today, some have been entered in there for a little while. So last week I did pay the AGL bills. Now I paid these by BPay. Essentially, to pay a bill, very easy. Tick the box of the bill you want to pay. Now the figure here should also be the figure here. Now if by chance we were short on funds and I could only pay AGL obviously I wouldn't do it with a utilities bill. You might do it with the diocese, short pay them a little bit till you could catch up. All right, but let's choose AGL for an example. I could only pay them $1,000. So I've ticked this, the whole line, my amount to pay has come up. So I'll just click in there, delete all of that, and just say, oh, I'm only paying them 1,000. All right. So you can change the amounts that you're paying people, but I didn't do that. So we'll untick that and I'll tick it again. Now I did pay the 2 AGL bills, but I paid them by BPay. If I tick them both, QuickBooks is going to add them together because they are the same supplier and say that I've paid one bulk payment of $18.80. I didn't do that, and then it's not going to match when I'm trying to reconcile, and I'll be confused because I'll be looking for $18.80, but there's not $18.80 showing on my bank statement. So when you're paying multiple bills to the same supplier, but you've paid it in separate amounts, if you wrote a check for $18.80 and took it to the post office, tick both of them. But if you're doing internet banking, do one at a time. All right, so I paid that bill on the 7th. I paid it out of the check account. Now I'm going to choose check because this is where I would write a check number. In this case, I'm going to write BPay because I don't have BPay here, and it wasn't direct debit. Like AGL didn't take the money out of the bank, we paid it. So I will leave this as check. Oh, up here, sorry, always just choose show all bills. Pretty easy. All right, so I'm just going to pay this one bill. Make sure that you've got your right bank account for those of you with multiple bank accounts. Pay that bill. Now here I'm going to write BPay. So I paid this AGL bill on the 7th and I paid it by BPay. Okay. Now I paid the other one as well. So let's pay some more bills. Now for whatever reason that's just popped up to there. Doesn't really matter in this instance because I'm paying the other AGL bill, which was there. That date's going to stay on the 7th because I previously used that and the system likes to keep things as you've previously used it. Again, paying by check, I will assign the check number because I'm not printing a check. Pay selected bills, BPay. Okay. Now, for the moment, I am done paying bills. So I say done. When you're paying the diocese, okay, so we have got a B bill for our assessment and insurance, long service leave, etc. I get another B bill for our admin, our administration staff, her super, and then we have another B bill for our cleaner. Clearly, I'm going to pay the diocese one amount. I'm not writing 3 checks. I'm not doing 3 internet payments. So I would tick all of those together and pay the diocese one amount of $3,812.21. That's when you can group them together. The same when I pay the stipend bills. Obviously, they're very low at the moment because we've got JobKeeper. So I would tick all of those because I'm going to pay those in one payment. If I was going to pay a load of bills today, for example, and I was going to pay those bills, I was going to pay our missions for the last couple of months, I was going to pay the book room, and we'll pay the lawnmower. So if I'm paying all of these bills on one day, tick them all, that's fine. Choose the day that you're going to pay them. So I'm going to pay them all today. Okay, pay selected bills. I will do this because I can undo it. Actually, I can cancel it. That's what I can do. So because we do all of ours by electronic banking, I would say I've paid there. So it's come up with the 3812. Paid that by EFTPOS or an electronic funds transfer, sorry. The church book room, I paid the lawn mowing man. And let's say for whatever bizarre reason, this was a check. This is where you would write your check number. So 0264, that was my check number that I happened to pay that person. So where it says check, you would write your check number, BPay, electronic transfer, however you paid it, basically. Now I'm going to say cancel because I haven't paid these bills yet. And then if you want to get out of the windows, always click the first cross. If I go up here, I'm closing down my whole program. I've just disappeared. So always the first little cross. It will say you've got some bill payments which are not recorded because I've left the ticks there. Do you wish to record them? No. Or I could have gone through and unticked them. Simple as that. Enter your bills, pay your bills. Follow the arrow. Thanks for watching. See you next time.